Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind-the-scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This article is called If You Love Me, You'll Lie to Me by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. I woke up the other day, rolled my lazy butt out of bed, and looked at myself in the mirror. Whoa! I should come with a warning label. In the mirror was a total stranger, a totally fat stranger. It was as if my brain had been transported to some older fat guy's body who had my eyes. I didn't see myself in the mirror at all. I saw a dude who looked to be in his second trimester of pregnancy, a guy about to have a cheeseburger for a baby in 3 more months. A guy who's lucky he's married because he wouldn't be worth much stock in the dating marketplace. I thought to myself, I need to do something nice for my wife today. I'm going to need her to stick around. I was absolutely hideous. Or maybe I should say fattious. I've spent most of my marriage hearing my wife say disparaging things about her own self-image. I always disagreed with her and then paid her a compliment, even if I didn't always mean it. That's what husbands are for. I never really understood why my wife went through all that self-pity. Until the morning I woke up and was shocked by the horror that was my fat body. That was the first moment where I really saw myself for who I actually am, an overweight fatty McFat guy. I wondered how I was able to even leave the house the previous day with a smile on my face and a skip in my step. I usually walk around like I'm the man. I normally don't worry about my appearance. Now, I've seen things. Big things. Everything is different. I had a moment of clarity in regard to my weight. I got fat, and I look like hell. Or to bring back a phrase from the 90s, I got hella fat. Ignorance truly is bliss. 2 days ago, I had no idea. Nobody in the world was more surprised than I was that I was fat. I was literally the last person to find out. I should have known this day was coming. There were definitely signs. A few months ago, my little 5-year-old nephew described me as his fat uncle. I just thought it was funny. I thought the poor kid obviously had some vocabulary issues and some problems remembering faces. He probably needed glasses. I wasn't his fat uncle. I was more like his fun uncle. His fat uncle was Uncle Danny. Looking back on it, I realized I was just in denial about my own weight. Kids don't lie about stuff like that. Husbands do. If my wife asks me if she's fat, of course I'm going to lie to her. There's a reason there's nothing written in any wedding vows regarding telling the truth in a marriage. They keep things precisely to sickness, health, death, but nothing about the truth. The truth is ugly. The truth is fat. This particular morning, I kept staring at myself, wondering where it all went wrong. Was it the double-double I had at In-N-Out Burgers? The brownie sundae at Chili's? The cheddar and sour cream super mashed potatoes at the Cheesecake Factory? Maybe the cookie frappuccino at 10 o'clock in the morning from Starbucks? Yum. The memories. There were so many things to blame. I couldn't really pinpoint the exact moment when my belly became something so large the government may have to assess property taxes on it. In a moment of weakness, I got all girly, broke down, and said something to my wife, hoping for an encouraging response. I said, "Baby, I look terrible. You're married to a fat guy now." Do you know what my wife, whom I love, said? "Yeah, you have put on a few pounds. I think you're the biggest you've ever been. Do you want me to go down to Costco and buy you some bigger Dockers?" Oh my God! Can you believe she said that? If I had said anything resembling that sort of insensitivity in 14 years of marriage, I would have only been married for 14 minutes. She's supposed to lie to me, ignore my belly, and compliment my dimples, or my calves, or even my earlobes, anything. Didn't she understand the rules of the game? In her defense, she is a rookie. I've been playing professional husband, am I fat dodgeball for more than a decade. So I spot in advance when a question is coming directly at my face. I know how to duck, how to deflect, distract, and most importantly, compliment. The letters L-I-E are strategically hidden inside the word compliment. That isn't happenstance. The word compliment comes from the Latin word como pliate, meaning tell her what she wants to hear or it's going to be a long night. I know how to say nice things when my wife needs to hear them, like, "Honey, you're beautiful. I love a curvy gal." What I don't do, because I want to live, is offer to go out and buy her some fat clothes. Well, since my wife wasn't going to make me feel any better, the only way to actually feel better was to separate myself from the fat gut that was holding me down. If I was ever going to be able to leave the house again, literally get my ass out the door, I was going to need to diet. Diet is another word containing a hidden word and literal meaning, this one being die. The dilemma I'm facing right now is which is worse, being hungry and miserable, wanting to die, or fat and miserable, wanting to diet. At least fat and miserable comes with Oreo cheesecake. By the way, when I got home from work, I found 3 brand new pairs of Dockers from the fat adult section of Costco.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails. I'm enjoying a cocktail right here. I've got some Kettle One vodka and some club soda. What are you drinking there, Mrs. Kreider? Ooh, I hear it. Sounds festive.
I'm drinking alcohol.
Alcohol. Well, thanks for being so specific.
I'm drinking alcohol in a wine. Okay, so I got the wine glass from the bar downstairs.
Yes, you did.
And
The bartender down there knows us and loves us.
I drank the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I refilled the wine glass with alcohol that we have in the room. So I went from wine to liquor. And I don't know what the rules are because I'm new to wine.
True.
I know liquor before beer. I know beer before liquor. I don't fucking know about wine. I'll tell you guys tomorrow.
Okay, we'll find out in the morning how this all goes. But I do like the fact you have just made a mixed drink out of a dirty wine glass. That's pretty classy.
Yeah, I'm classy, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
I'm classy. And then you know what? Kiss my ass.
All right. Speaking of kissing your ass, let's talk about a story we just heard. If You Love Me, You'll Lie to Me, published October 4th, 2010 in the Santa Maria Sun. This is part of the Man Overboard series of stories.
I know you're super excited about this.
Yeah, because this is a good story.
It's our favorite story tonight. Tonight, I read that story for the very first fucking time. Dude, I laughed my fucking ass off. That was the first time I ever read that story.
It's not true.
Fucking hilarious.
You have edited every single story I've ever written, so you know you read it before because you edited it.
You laughed your ass off. Like, as of this moment, yes, both of us are like, that's the best fucking story you ever wrote. But 5 minutes before you found it online, if someone was like, what's the best story you ever wrote? Neither one of us were going to say like...
I was like, that's about go-karts and the kids or some shit.
Neither one of us were going to say like, because I'm going to go to fucking Costco and get you some fucking fat pants. I can't even get the sentence out. It's so fucking funny.
No, it's so fucked up.
But 6 minutes before, I did not remember that. Like when I was filling my fucking wine glass with new alcohol and I was like, hey, find us a story. I was not thinking that was the funniest story ever because I didn't know it existed because tonight I heard it for the very first time.
But you did like a super messed up thing to me because you literally said that. So I would never say that to you.
I don't know if I did say that.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Okay,
You're like, yeah, you got fat. You want me to buy some bigger pants?
I don't know why that's so fucked up. Have you been to Costco? It's like a lot of work. Like parking. Okay, let's say the Costco is in Fresno.
Yep.
You got to park in Visalia. Now, for people that don't know the geography of the Central Valley, Visalia is 60 miles from Fresno. So like, oh shit, she got a good parking spot 60 miles from the Costco. That's how much work it is.
Not too shabby.
To go to the and then you got to go in and you got to be like, I know they had Dockers last time I was here. I sure fucking hope they do. And then you got to like go through all the goddamn patio furniture and sift through the couches.
Flat screen TV.
And then
and the juicers.
And the juicers.
Should we get this juicer?
Yeah, this little minute blender or whatever they fucking call it. And then they got the Dockers. The thing that I was offering to do for you was like a ton of work. So I think it was kind. I'm like, look, I don't care. I don't care if you got fat. Like, I just want you to have nice work pants.
I just want to see your ass crack when you bend
I'll
over.
go to the Costco. I'll get you some new pants. I'll park in Visalia. Like, I was really going to sacrifice a lot.
You're just a super supportive spouse. You're like,
yeah,
you got fat. You're going to need more pants. I'll go get them for you.
Yeah. I mean, this was in 2010. I couldn't order the shit on Amazon like I do now.
No, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah. I mean, now, like, oh, why didn't she just order them on Amazon? Because Amazon didn't, it fucking exists. But they didn't have Dockers. They just had books at that point in 2010.
Probably.
Books
and diapers or some shit.
I don't even think they had diapers yet in 2000. They were just a bookstore. They were just putting Barnes and Nobles out of business. And then Amazon was like.
Exactly. But you could buy Cadet Blues online.
In 2010?
No, because I hadn't published it yet.
Right.
I wrote it, but I hadn't published it yet.
That's what I'm saying. In 2010, Amazon was like, Barnes and Nobles, Borders, you're fucking done. And then they were just like, hey, everybody else, watch out. We're coming for you.
We're going to sell fat people Dockers.
And no one saw it coming. Everyone's like, that little online bookstore? Now they fucking sell dog food? Oh, hell yeah, PetSmart. Now they sell fucking dog food.
You're all in big trouble.
You're all in big trouble. Yep.
Speaking of trouble, we are in Boston. This is a road episode, and we're in a hotel here. We walked around Boston, and even though the story is about getting fat, I tried to eat all the food in Boston to make myself fat again. So I've been fat, I've been skinny, and somehow, for whatever reason, I decided to eat all the food in Boston, and I'm on the wrong path.
So the irony of that story. Yes, there was a time in our marriage in 2010. We'd been 14 years in, and I lovingly said, I don't care that you got fat. I'll go to the Costco. I'll get you some bigger Dockers. Now, I lovingly say, babe, I'm going to order you some smaller Dockers on Amazon. The crazy part is that you're still wearing Dockers.
Well, I mean, they're sensible pants.
But I order them big or small. I love you. Either way. No size. No size matters. Any size.
Maybe this show should be sponsored by Dockers. Sensible pants for fat and skinny men.
But you have also loved me for all of the sizes.
Yes. Well, the thing about you, it's so exciting, is I've never had to have an affair because you just kind of change all the time, right? So I'm like, hey, maybe I'm into bigger girls. Maybe I'm into skinnier girls. It's just kind of always different. You change your hair. You change your nails. You change your outfits. You change your size. You change your color.
I change my whole fucking personality. I'm like, hey,
you do
guess
change
what?
your personality.
We have a dog now.
Oh, now I love the Raiders. Like, what the fuck?
We're dog people and we watch the Raiders on Sunday.
Yeah. So, like, I've never really needed anything new. And, like, I'll just stick around another couple of years and I'll have a whole new wife again. But it's been great, But here's the thing. When you were Big Fat Sarah, and you were Big Fat Sarah for a lot of years.
I was Big Fat Sarah for a long time.
I loved you enough to lie to you about it.
I appreciate that.
When I got to become Big Fat Rob, and I was Big Fat Rob for quite many years, you did not lie to me about it. You just said, yeah, you gained weight, man. You got fat.
Well, maybe I didn't want to be lied to. Maybe I just wanted you to go down to the Costco and get me some new clothes.
When you were Big Fat Sarah, you didn't wear clothes. You wore like curtains and shit. Like you just fucking didn't even try to wear something nice.
Well, maybe I wanted you to go down to the Costco and get me some new curtains to wear. I'm running around naked. I'm like, am I too fat for all of the clothes in my closet? And you're like, no, babe, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. Can you go down to the fucking Costco and get me some new curtains so that I don't have to be naked when I drop the kids off in the fucking carpool at school?
Yeah. You did wear curtains once to a party that I had to go to. I was like show and tell, like, hey, everybody, here's our wives and shit. I look over you and you're just wearing fucking curtains from the hotel.
Yeah. No, there's a pinnacle part in a pinnacle movie. Have you seen Gone with the Wind?
Yes, I have.
She makes a dress out of curtains.
They do that also. They make clothes in The Sound of Music from the curtains.
Oh, they do? In The Sound of Music?
Absolutely, yeah.
The crazy part,
all the kids are running around, little German kids are running around in the curtains.
Is that when they're all running around in their curtains, they still look like normal human size.
Yeah, they were actors. You looked like you rolled up a whole window's worth, like a fucking big window.
I wasn't really.
I'm not talking like about a bathroom window. I'm talking about full fucking front of the house window. You rolled up in that curtain.
I wasn't really wearing the curtains. I was wearing a borrowed dress.
That was not a good outfit.
Well, I had to borrow a dress because someone wouldn't go down to the Costco and buy me a larger size dress.
Well, there's no parking spaces. Hey, I will say this. You have gotten hot now and you've gotten skinny and you don't wear curtains anymore. And it's super awesome. I'm the luckiest guy to have stuck with you this long because now I get the good part. I got through the curtain years.
But you maybe could have gotten some stylish curtains for me down at the Costco if you would have just...
Yeah, but
if you would have just been loving enough instead of to just like compliment and lie. Instead of just like, does my ass look big in these curtains? And you're like, no. Instead of lying, you should have just driven down to the Costco and said, I'll buy you some new clothes. And now you didn't. And that's what I offered to do for you. And now I'm the bad guy because I was just like, I'll get you some new pants. You want some 38s? I'll get you some fucking 38s.
Well, I mean, I think I knew eventually there'd be a conversation with, the tough love. Like, yeah, looks like you got a couple extra inches there. But, you didn't even try. Like, you didn't even be like, oh, no. But your haircut looks nice. And who even can know it? I don't even look at your gut. You're just like, oh, yeah, you're the fattest you've ever been. I'm just like, fuck. You just like hit me right with it, just right in the fucking face. I'm just like, whoa.
Well, look at
I was already feeling like shit looking at myself in the mirror.
In 2010, you were the primary breadwinner. Why am I saying into? You've always been the primary breadwinner. Like you got to go to work on Monday.
I'm going to need you in some fucking Dockers.
I have a job where I could legit call in fat to work. I've actually done that. I've actually called my principal and said, like, I'm calling in fat to work. I have nothing to wear. It was a really long summer break. August 20th, first day of school. It just kind of snuck up on me.
We had a lot of calzones this summer.
Yeah, we got the dress code. I can come in sweats. Or I can call in fat to work. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I have that kind of relationship with my boss. You didn't have that relationship with your bosses. You had to go to work. So as the primary breadwinner, you're just like, I'm going through some emotions. I'm feeling some things about the calzones and my gut. I'm like, look it, we don't have fucking time for that. You got to go to work on Monday. I'm going to go down to the Costco on a fucking weekend. I'm not even parking in Visalia now. I'm parking in fucking Bakersfield. I'm driving 2 hours to get to the Costco to get you some fucking pants so you can get your fat ass to work.
Get your fat ass in and get to fucking work.
Yeah, I'm like, well,
we're going to need you working, bro.
We'll work on the compliments later. I still love you. You're amazing. Yada, yada, yada. You're
I didn't get any of that. All I got was, yeah, you're the fattest you've ever been. I was just so taken back. I'm like, what the fuck?
Who is this
Do
bitch?
you even love me at all? I've been lying to you for 14 fucking years.
You've been over 200 pounds for the last 10 years of the 14 years that we've been together. I'm 199, and you're telling me you're the fattest you've ever been. I know that's what was going through your head.
I was.
Oh, you know how I knew? Because I saw it in your face.
So the look on my face was like, fat fucking bitch.
Oh, yeah. No, the look on your face was like, this fucking bitch, dude.
This fat bitch.
This bitch. Why don't you go down to Costco and get another fucking block of cheese and you eat it, you fucking fat bitch? Oh, also it was 2014 or 2010 and we never even been to Boston, but your face had a Boston accent. Yeah, you're like, you fucking fat bitch. Why don't you park the car?
Why don't you make me some fucking chowder?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
God damn.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
It was a fucking betrayal, man. Betrayal. It hurt. It cut me deep.
I was busy, dude. In 2010, we had an 11-year-old and we had a 9-year-old. I just didn't have time to take care of myself. So I was
or my
fat.
emotional needs.
Or to worry about your emotions. I just didn't. I didn't have time to care about your feelings. We had an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
You were too busy on the phone calling me and Ed's Pizza, getting us some more fucking calzones and pizza, keep us as fat as hell.
I had to feed those fucking kids, dude. I had to feed those kids, man. They were 11 and 9, and we were busy.
We ate so much pizza back then. I was pretty sure that if there was like a gas leak and the whole family like died in the house, that how the world would find out would like a 15-year-old kid from me and Ed's Pizza is like, hey, I haven't delivered 3 pizzas to the Kreider's house in 3 days. Let's call the police and get a welfare check. They're fucking dead.
Okay, dude. That is fucking hilarious, what you just said. So funny. But I can't laugh out loud because, like, 15-year-olds don't drive. You went with the wrong age, dude. Like, what you said was so fucking funny, but you need to go back and edit it and be like,
See, this is why I'm a writer.
16-year-old.
I'm not a narrator.
A
See, I would have
16-year-old.
written that, and then you would have gone like, no, 15-year-olds don't deliver pizza, dipshit. He's a 16 or 17-year-old. Zit-face 17-year-old. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that would have been funnier.
Well, and actually,
Because of all the grease.
Actually, his name was Brian, and it wasn't me and Ed's. It was Domino's, and he was a very nice boy. And I tipped him well, so he always like delivered to our house first. And sure enough, we hadn't had a pizza for like 2 or 3 days from Domino's. I am 100% sure that Brian would have been on the phone with the police. I need a welfare check on the Kreiders.
Yeah.
Because we were his primary
Well, he needed money.
source of income.
Yeah, he's
as
like,
well.
if the Kreiders don't eat 3 more pizzas and get fatter, I can't buy weed.
Oh, now the 16-year-old Brian, he was like a really nice kid. He wasn't buying weed. He was like saving for Stanford or some shit like that.
Oh, he wasn't smoking weed? He was going to Stanford.
He was saving for Stanford. Yeah.
Okay. This is why it's better to have you edit the stories. Because if I just write them out, I got 50-year-olds doing weed. It's all kind of dark, and I want to be funny.
You got 15-year-olds driving, smoking weed, doing heroin, and I'm just like, no. It was a 16-and-a-half-year-old named Brian. Every once in a while, he asked me for help on his trig homework. He was going to Stanford. That's the American dream, baby.
See, I always go like over the line. I'm like, so then I came home one day from work, and you were fucking him.
Yeah, no, that's that.
That would be a crime.
That's not over the line. That's over 7 lines. You just crossed.
Yeah, see,
over
this is why.
7.
Listen, y'all, this is why it's
fucking
called
lines.
Stories and Cocktails. I'm drank some cocktails, and now I'm telling. My feelings are hurt, even from fucking.
But you go dark.
This is 8 years ago. This story was written. My feelings are hurt. You called me fat, bitch.
Baby. Oh, I gotta help you with your trig homework, just like I used to help Brian. 2010 wasn't 8 years ago.
This story came out in 2014. No.
I thought you said 2010.
Oh shit.
Did you say 2010?
No, I said exactly that. I said October 4th, 2010. Fuck. Oh, that's right. Cadet Blues came out in 14. Sorry.
Fuck.
So listen, yeah. So that was 12 years ago. My fucking goddamn feelings are still they're still fucking hurt. You still hurt my feelings. You called me fat.
There is no ceiling on how much your feelings are hurt. Really.
You hurt my feelings, man.
I'm
Just lie to me.
sorry.
Just say like, no, honey, I'll still give you the business. Like, I'll still take you to bed, but maybe less milkshakes. You know?
Listen, baby.
You just went right for that. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get you some pants. That shit hurt.
Okay, listen. I always think you're sexy. I don't care if you have pants that fit. I will never offer to go down to the Costco and get you some new pants. Like, I'll just be like, yeah, you're still fucking sexy and hot as hell. Just squeeze into those. Just don't button the top button. Like when I was pregnant. I'll show you the rubber band trick when I was pregnant. You put a rubber band like around the button.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's what I should have said. I shouldn't have offered to go buy you new pants. I should have just sent you to work with a rubber band and told you you're hot and sexy. And who gives a shit? And I should have just given you some more lobster roll and some more chowder.
Chowder.
Some more Boston cream pie.
So good. So yeah, I don't want you to do that. I want you to actually encourage me. And you did that today, because today I tried to eat all the cuisines that Boston had to offer. So I'm like, let me get the chowder. Let me get the Boston cream pie. We got a cannoli. I picked up some lobster rolls, all that shit. And then you were sort of a little bit discouraging me on all of the eating, because you're kind of like, look, dude, you're going to get fat again. Like, you got to fucking back this off a bit. You know what? Hurt my feelings again.
Dude, I didn't stop you. I let you eat all the food.
And then you just talk shit to me. You're like, yeah, eat it, you fat fuck.
No.
Eat that whole fucking lobster roll.
No, I only talked shit to you when you were running us up Bunker Hill. You were running
We were
us.
walking the Freedom Trail, and I wanted to see all the monuments.
You were running us. And I was like, dude, I think the Freedom Trail is a walk. Like, why are we running? I was like, why are we running up the fucking Bunker Hill? And you were like, we got to run off all this lobster and all of this Boston cream. And I'm like, I didn't fucking eat that, dude. I don't need to run up the hill. Like, I didn't eat the food. I'm going to just be this weak ass with this saggy ass down here walking, not eating the food. You can run up there. You do your thing. But I didn't say anything about going to Costco and buying any bigger pants.
Because I'm going to run the shit off. I'm like, look, I had all the chowder. I got to go up the top of Bunker Hill. Like Rocky. That's Philadelphia.
I can't believe I hurt.
Boston.
I can't believe I hurt your feelings. I don't think I did hurt your feelings.
You think I'm just doing this for comedic effect?
Yes.
Wrong. My feelings are fucking hurt.
No, you didn't. Dude, I didn't.
I was in an emotional place.
I
looked like I was a pregnant person. I looked like they finally found a way to get a man pregnant.
I didn't say.
I looked like I was in my third trimester of pregnancy. I was like, oh my God, I got fucking fat.
I didn't say shit to you all day.
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said shit to me in 2010.
Yeah, okay, but I didn't say shit to you all day today about you.
There was like a little hint of, you can eat all that? Which is fair because you have helped me lose 32 pounds. So I want to not get fat again.
I can't win because you're like, don't say that to me. And then I'm like, I'm not saying fucking shit to you because that's not healthy for our marriage. And then the next day, tomorrow, you're like, why didn't you say something to me? Why did you let me, like, you're my coach. Why didn't you let me eat all that? I'm just like, dude, I'm not doing that. Like, that is not healthy for our marriage. I'm not doing that. I can't win.
I need you to be my everything. I need you to be my nutritionist, my diet coach, my exercise coach, my loving wife, my shopper, my secret shopper, and I need you to be my emotional support system.
I can't.
Is that too much to ask of a wife? To just be all of those fucking things?
All of those things?
Just all those things.
I can't do all of them.
Let me eat what I want. Make me feel good about it. Then, be nice to me if I get fat and buy me some bigger clothes, but be nice to me. Whatever it is. And then
but
tell me what to eat.
Don't buy me bigger clothes.
But also,
make me lose
tell me
weight
what to
so
eat.
I can be smaller.
Make sure I eat the right shit so I don't get fat again. I just need you to do that very impossible task.
I can't. I couldn't be on food patrol today because I'm still reeling from 2 days ago when you were like, why did you let me drink so much? Why didn't you stop me from drinking so much?
I did lose a whole day.
You lost a day.
Lost a whole fucking day.
You lost a whole. So I'm like, hey, when you're like, I'm gonna order some Boston cream pie. I'm gonna order some meats. I'm like, hey, as long as you're not drinking, we're not gonna lose a fucking day tomorrow.
I was drinking.
Well, yeah, that too. But I'm like, yeah, eat. You didn't eat 2 days ago. Like,
I was at Fenway Park rooting on the fucking Boston Red Sox and just got wicked pissa drunk and then lost the whole day.
Yeah, I can't coach you through both food and alcohol.
I need you to do all of those things. That's why you're my partner.
Wow. Okay. Well, write it down. Put it in the job description so I can work on that.
You want me to write down what the job description for you is?
Yes.
You want me to tell it to you right now on the show? It'll be crossing lines. First job, blowjobs. Second job, blowjobs. Third job, getting the shit stains out of my underwear. Fourth job, cooking food that tastes good, but don't make me get fat again. Fifth job, raise the kids. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
And then be my emotional support animal.
Okay. I'm gonna go next door and see if they're also looking for help wanted.
A miracle worker?
Yeah, I'm like, this maybe isn't the best job for me. I just think this isn't the best fit.
Are you giving me 2 weeks notice?
I might be.
I get 2 more weeks with a blowjob though, right? Because
Fun. That was funny. I don't have a comeback for that. That was funny.
I left you silent.
You left me silent.
All right,
That was
also,
funny.
while I have an empty glass here, so if I've silenced you, maybe we should move on to another story.
Maybe.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Hold on, everybody. It's not last call yet. We have another story on this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get another round?
Hey friends, I wanted to take the time to thank each and every one of you for listening to our stupid little drunk show, especially those who were kind enough to go on Venmo and throw a couple bucks our way to buy us a round of drinks at Stories and Cocktails. And if you want to help out the show, subscribe, like, and comment on whatever streaming platform you use, or all of them. Jesus, I sound like a 12-year-old YouTuber. And if you do buy us a round of cocktails, I promise we will put those drinks to good use and give you a shout out on a future episode. All right, thanks folks, let's get back to the shit show.
Okay, folks, we have one drink down the gullet, which means we need to get our next one on deck. Time to enjoy the second story. Bartender!
This article is called Cabin in the Woods by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. During the winter months, many people enjoy driving up to the mountains, playing in the snow, and sleeping in quaint little rustic cabins. I think those people are quite stupid. Sure, on paper it all sounds nice. The majestic mountains, the falling snow. What's not to like? But the reality of cabin life is a lot less fun. It's me, on my hands and knees, in the freezing cold, trying to put chains on the car. It's wet socks from snow that got into my boots. It's being stuck in a very small, stuffy Lincoln log building with way too many people. My preference over going to a cabin would be to just stay home and clean my garage. Regardless about how I feel about going up to the cabin, I was still going because that's what my wife wanted. Her bestest friend in the whole wide world had rented a cabin, so my wife, whom I love, wanted to go. And what my wife wants, she gets. I accepted my fate, packed the car with luggage, and headed up the hill. I told my wife that even though I didn't want to go to the cabin, I'd be cool about it. In actuality, I just wore a sourpuss look on my face for the entire drive up the mountain. My wife is such a lucky girl. After surviving the harrowing icy drive, we arrived at the rented cabin and saw that our friends were already there. I'll admit, the white snow covering the ground and trees was quite beautiful. The sourpuss look on my face subsided, and I joined the fun. The kids immediately started to make snowballs and throw them around. For some reason, all of these snowballs ended up in one place, and that place was hitting me in the face, neck, and head, resulting in snow going down my jacket, which dripped ice water down my back. Ooh, that does not feel good. We examined our rented home for the weekend and found that the cabin was missing a few things we'd probably need. One of the kids yelled out from the bathroom, "We're out of toilet paper!" We'd only been at the cabin for 10 minutes. My wife and I went into our assigned bedroom and saw that there were no sheets on the bed. A quick check of the linen closet showed that there were no towels either. A search party was formed, and we all started to look around the cabin to find supplies. Once it was determined the cabin came with nothing, we started asking each other who brought what. Hey, did you guys bring any toilet paper? No, we brought beer. How about you? Did you guys bring sheets? No, we just packed wine. Did anyone bring any towels? We brought tequila. What about food? I brought some fruit. Well, actually, I just brought some limes for the tequila. I brought a gun. How is a gun going to help? In case a bear shows up. No bears are coming to this cabin because there is no food inside this cabin to steal. That's when I laid it out for our friends. So just to be clear, the final tally is we have tequila, limes, and a gun, but no toilet paper. It's snowing outside, and we've paid for this cabin for 3 nights. Unfortunately for this group of us stuck in the cabin, we had enough hard alcohol to launch a rocket to Mars, but not enough toilet paper to wipe a kid's nose. Lack of supplies wasn't our only problem. Heat was another big issue. The cabin came with a wood pellet stove that we city folks didn't really understand. The stove only had the ability to keep the temperature of the cabin at 2 specific measures. It was either 19 degrees Fahrenheit, which was the temperature outside, or it was 1 million degrees, the temperature of the surface of the sun. This extreme range of melting heat or bone-chilling cold could swing rapidly within a few minutes. We all sat down to play a card game at the big table in the kitchen. During the game, I started to lose weight like a wrestler by sweating profusely. By the end of the game, I lost my big toe due to frostbite. Jackets on, jackets off, go outside to cool off, run inside to warm up, grab the gun, and end it all. There was really no good choice. Now, we weren't completely without supplies while we were up in the snow. One of my friends did bring 2 20-pound bags of ice. For the beer, what we needed with ice cubes while we were surrounded by 3 feet of snow was a total mystery to me. I guess every man has his priorities, and his priority was cold beer. My priority was toilet paper. I decided it was time to venture out in the snow and save the day by buying some much-needed TP. I drove to the first nearby store. It was more of a bait and tackle shop that was a front for methamphetamine sales. No luck on toiletries there. I drove through the snow 10 more miles to the next store. This was less store and more gas station. Again, no TP. Apparently, nobody in the mountain ever goes to the bathroom. I was getting desperate. People were depending on me. I braved more icy roads and continued on my mission. I found another store 15 more miles away. I trudged through the snow into the store and saw in a rack the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. White, round, and glowing in the store light was a 4-pack of toilet paper. Glorious toilet paper, soft and gentle. $10. I guess those are mountain prices? And as I walked towards the register to be the savior for my family and friends, I went ahead and picked up a couple more beers, just in case. By the way, when I did make it back to the cabin, I was welcomed with a snowball to the face.
Okay, patrons, you've been to this bar before. You know it's cocktail hour again. Are we doing shots or what?
Hey, and welcome to the drunken portion of the show, Stories and Cocktails, live on tape from Las Vegas, Nevada. We do the show a lot here because there's a lot of stories, a lot of cocktails in Vegas. That's what comes out of Vegas, right? If you're in Vegas partying, you're going to have a story about it, and there's certainly cocktails.
Plus, Vegas is just awesome. So
yes.
we come to Vegas every chance we get.
Now, I heard you shaking your drink there. We're drinking something very special here today. This is the alcoholic version of Starbucks.
Yes, I went down and to the lobby and got a Trente passion tea or something like that. And then I brought it upstairs and I loaded it up with vodka.
Nice. I picked up an Americano and then I came up here and loaded up with Bailey's. So
yeah, it's good.
Thank you, Starbucks.
Plus, we got
getting
these.
us drunk.
These are to-go cups. So
exactly.
When we go to leave, we don't have to steal the cups out of the kitchenette like we did yesterday. We can just take our Starbucks cups.
Yeah, I guess I just threw that away on the strip yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I did that. I just bailed that cup.
Yeah, that's what happens when they let us into the nicer hotels.
Thank you, Alara. Well, that's kind of
wait.
segues why we're here.
I wasn't going to actually say Alara. Now they can come after us.
They could. If they want to come after me for the price of 2 cups, I'm down for it.
But it's the Vegas price.
Call my fucking attorney.
So the reason that we're here this particular trip, staying in the Alara, stealing cups from the kitchen.
Yes, and I'm ashamed about this.
Our room has a kitchen.
Super ashamed.
It was Father's Day, and that's I'll always remember because it was Father's Day.
How lucky for me.
Exactly. And you went out to run some errands or do something. I don't know. You're probably racing, really, because what else would you be doing on Father's Day?
I was definitely racing on Father's Day.
Okay, so you were racing.
I'm like, it's Father's Day. Fuck off. I'm going to go race my car.
So I was left to my own devices at home, and I get a phone call, and it said, "Hey, this is Herbert from Hilton. Would you like to stay 3 free nights in Las Vegas?" And I said, "Yes, that sounds wonderful." And he said, "Would you like to stay in the Alara?" And I said, "Yes, I'm quite familiar with that hotel. That sounds wonderful." And he said, "Would you like to stay in one of our 1-bedroom suites with a full kitchen and a soaking tub in the bedroom?" And I said, "Yes, sign me the fuck up." And so then he did. And it was that seamless. 3 free nights, no obligation.
No obligation.
No obligation.
That's funny because I spent 3 hours yesterday obligating some shit that was no obligation.
Oh, did it feel like an obligation? I thought it was quite pleasant.
Did you really?
Yeah.
A timeshare presentation for 3 hours. You thought it was pleasant.
The presenter was funny. I mean, as presenters go, he was funny. He had some jokes in there and some personal stories. And
I don't know if you caught all those because when we got in there, they gave us 3 specific instructions. They said, please turn off your cell phone. Do not text. Do not leave the presentation. And do not talk to each other. Let's just
all
watch.
of those.
The presentation is going to be 7 minutes. You started talking to me directly. It was super rude. The guy was looking at you. Then because I wouldn't acknowledge you because I'm like, I follow instructions. I'm a rule follower. Then you just started texting. So now my phone's blowing up, vibrating. You're just texting away. He's looking at you. Then you're like, I got to pee. And you just walk out in the middle of his big ceremony.
yeah, I had to pee. They kept asking us if we were okay on water and coffee. And it turns out I was more than okay. They filled my bladder.
Now, you've told me as a teacher you were the worst student ever, that when you went to any training or whatever, you were the absolute worst student, sitting in a classroom or whatever. And so I got to see that firsthand yesterday. I was like, you're terrible. Just absolutely. You actually give presentations as a teacher and you're just fucking this guy's timing up. All he can do is look at you while you're looking at your phone. He's just like, this is so rude, lady.
In fairness, when I was texting you, I wasn't texting you as much as trying to communicate with you. I was using you as my notepad. I was so engaged in the presentation.
Maybe I'm not
questions.
your fucking human notepad.
I had questions and I didn't have any paper. They should have given me paper and pencil to write with, to write my questions down and doodle on, because that's the other thing I do when people are presenting is I doodle like crazy. But they didn't give me that.
You know why they didn't do that?
Why?
Because they don't want any questions.
Well,
all they wanted you to do was buy shit. Anytime you had a question, they had a terrible answer and it was getting worse and worse on the deal.
That's true.
So there's a reason they don't give you pencil, paper. They did not
want me to ask questions.
They didn't want you to have your calculator out. They wanted you to just sit there and listen. And the funny part that you miss is that he gives this big presentation. I have an was in the Air Force and I have this wife and I've been a Hilton owner all these years, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but I have this one regret in my life, the one thing that ever happened for me and my wife. And I'm like, oh my God, silence on the room. And then he's like, we could never have. And you're like, Bert, oh, sorry, I had to pee. He's like, we could never have children. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
I did notice my timing was really bad on that.
It was horrible.
Because I didn't know what he was saying because I was out peeing. And
that's why what you did was extremely rude.
I opened the door and he's like, children. And I'm like, yeah, no, I got a couple. Like, oh, are we talking about how children fit into
We all got kids, right? Would this be good for children to go on?
Yeah. And he's just like, no, I never had any. It's my biggest regret. And I was like, oh shit, I missed a big section here.
Well, the good news was that he didn't quite sell it like he normally did because somebody opened the fucking door during the big hit. My biggest regret was going to this presentation. That was my lifetime regret.
So I was taking notes and asking questions, and I apparently I don't know how to use the note app in my phone. I only know how to text you the questions. I needed them to be saved somewhere for me to ask later when the presentation was over and they put you with the sales guy.
Right.
So I was doing that, and I know he was like looking at me like, I told you not to text. I'm like, well, do you want me engaged or not? I also had pulled up my calculator, another thing that you're right, they didn't want you to do. And I started doing math, and I'm just like, this isn't quite working out.
But I was just proud that we didn't own a timeshare. We've been married for 27 years. It's something that we've avoided. We've done a good job on not buying one of these goddamn things. And I actually had never even been, taunted to do it because I'd never been to the presentation. We just avoided the whole thing.
Taunted or tempted? I feel like you'd
Both.
never been tempted and you'd never been in a position to
Well,
taunt.
they were taunting me
presenters
with
and
purchasing
salesperson.
and tempting me.
Right.
Yeah, probably the wrong word.
No, we were taunting them behind their backs.
I was like, I don't want to be here. This is not good. And then suddenly you're like, you have to go. And I'm like, oh my God.
Okay,
this is
but
bullshit.
all things considered, and this being your Father's Day gift.
What a lucky boy I am.
Was the 3 hours in the presentation worth the 3 nights in this huge hotel room with a kitchen that we stole glasses from to walk along the strip? Like we made them into to-go cups. The next person who stays in here, they're going to be so sad. They're just going to be like, what? I got this fucking timeshare and it doesn't even have cups in it. And it's
just
like,
glassware.
Yeah, it's like those cups are thrown away somewhere on the strip because the last guests in that hotel room, the renters, that's what we learned that we were called.
Oh, yeah.
That we stay at Hilton's and we're renters and not owners.
Yeah, they were really big into you want to be an owner. We'll give you the deed. I'm like, really? I'm a fucking owner of Hilton and shit? Well, you get this many points, whatever. And I'm going to pause. You're going to say an off-color joke. We're probably going to delete. I'm like, you're trying to sell my wife on all these like grand vacations. Like, oh, let's go to the snow. Let's go to Hawaii. I'm like, I don't care about that stuff. I'm like, you want to sell me this shit? How many points I got to own? I can spend the night in the hotel with Paris Hilton. Like, that's what I'm interested in. How many points, how many deeds do I have to make that happen? If it's not going to happen, I'm not interested in buying this shit.
You're like, I'm gonna pause just in case I want to delete this later so as not to offend any listeners. And I'm like, you can delete it from the recording. You cannot delete it from my memory.
Right. That's
So
just making a joke.
you would rather be here with Paris Hilton? All these times we're staying in the Hiltons and we're having hotel sex. You're just like dreaming up Paris in your head?
No.
Oh, that was not convincing. I have as much trust in the answer you just gave me as all of the answers that they gave me to all of my questions yesterday in the timeshare presentation. And that would be zero trust.
The presentation was crashing and burning as soon as it was over. And we're like, well, can we do this?
Well, can
we do this?
They made a terrible mistake. After the presentation, they escort you out and you all go into your own little cubicle with your own salesperson. And ours was he was a very pleasant man. Like
Mike.
Yeah, I hold him. I mean, no goodwill against him. He actually did a phenomenal job. He was a great guy.
No goodwill against him. We just want to say no ill will against him?
I hold no ill will against him. Yeah, I hold no ill will against him. Great guy.
I think you meant it.
He just...
No goodwill for Mike. Fuck Mike. Fuck this presentation.
Unfortunately, he was selling something that I just wasn't going to buy. So that's where, it caused a rift between...
But there was a moment where you were thinking about buying
No, there was...
That was making me very nervous.
This is where they made their mistake, is they had this super cool table, and the table had a computer in it. Like, the whole table was a computer screen.
It was like Star Wars, man. Huge touch screen. You could just search the internet.
So you just touch the table, and you're just searching the internet. And so Mike's running the show, and he's touching the table, and he was very, very, very fixated on the Alara. And he's just like, you guys love the Alara. You come here all the time. You stay at the Alara. I'm like, no, we come here all the time. We love the Alara, but we don't stay in the Alara all the time. Like, we're only in the Alara because it was free. Next time, we probably won't stay there because it doesn't have the fucking to-go cups. We already used them up.
I know.
Threw them away. So he was fixated on the Alara. So he wanted to show us how many times we could stay at the Alara if we bought the timeshare. And he just was like fixated on that. And he's touching the screen. And like I said, he's running this program. Well, I guess what he wasn't expecting from me is I started touching the screen. And I was like, oh, I see how
He
this
did
works.
not like that.
And I just started touching. And I'm like, what if I want to stay in San Francisco? What if I want to stay in Hawaii? And now we're no longer in Las Vegas on the screen. We're no longer looking at the Alara where everything is fucking perfect and cheap and always available. And I'm like, Mike, it doesn't look like there's anything available in San Francisco. And he's like, oh, I don't know. You might be doing it wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, then you do it, Mike. We're going to go to Chicago in August. Show me how this timeshare works for me to stay in Chicago.
Mike, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
I need a fucking room. Give me one in LA. Okay,
Yeah.
no, okay, give me one in San Francisco. No Napa? Okay, how about Santa Barbara?
And
Oh, you
then-
can't do anything.
And so me and Mike are getting confused because we're just like, oh, it's weird. It's like there's no properties there. It's no properties there. And he's like, oh, I must be doing something wrong. And then you look and you're like, hey, Mike, look in the corner, the fine print. It's not that there's no properties. It's that there's no availability. And I'm like, Mike, it's December, buddy. And I want to book August. If my math is right, that's 8.
Yeah, it's not like I was
months
asking
from
for,
now.
next weekend during Christmas. I'm like, hey, man, 8 months from now, I want to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
He's
no.
like, yeah. I'm like, so what do I exactly own? So I don't get to fuck Paris Hilton and I don't get to go to Chicago.
That's when the whole thing went sideways. So you're right. I was ready to buy. I had my wallet out. I'm like, this looks like a good idea. I fucking love points. I get to spend a shitload of money and you make me feel wealthy in points. And I like that. I mean, I don't feel wealthy in cash, but I will feel wealthy with points. I will be important. And I was ready. They were like, hey, we're going to get you an American Express card. I'm like, cool. That makes me sound cool too. Like I got an Amex and I called the Amex, and I was ready until they lagged. They were like, okay, hang on a second. Let's go get the application. Let's get your information. And they left me alone with that fucking table computer. And it wasn't like Mike's fingerprint signature. It turns out I could work it as well as he could.
And you were hogging. I was like, dude, I'm going to just turn this thing into like YouTube and watch Crider racing videos and shit on YouTube.
No, I was
You're like,
actually-
no, I'm going to fucking book us a hotel. I'm going to get this shit dialed. And I'm like, you can't. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't make this work. That thing should just lie. They're like,
should.
oh, that room is actually only at 1 point. You could fucking book San Francisco tomorrow.
Well, I think it does. I think it's set to lie about Alara in Las Vegas. And that's why no matter what, he's like, but don't you want to come back to the Alara? Don't you want to come back to the Alara? And I'm like, well, I think if I buy this shit, I have to. I think that's the only place I fucking can go to. You guys are telling me 4,000 properties. You have yet to show me another one besides the Alara. Like I said, that's when it just went to shit.
Yeah,
That's when
and they
it went
couldn't really
sideways.
recover. And then you finally said, I'm out of here.
But they kept trying to recover. Even Mike, he broke character at one point, and he's because I told him, I'm like, hey, we are vacationers. We vacation all the time. We stay in Hilton properties all the time. When I was supposed to be paying attention, I was actually on the Hilton app counting how many nights we've stayed in Hiltons. So I came informed and I came ready. I'm like, this is how many nights we stay in Hiltons. This is how much money we spend. I am a ready customer. And his eyes lit up a little bit. But then I started to give him more information about how we vacation. And like I said, he broke character and he's like, the way you guys vacation, what you're interested in. He's like, I don't know if this is really right for you.
Shit, no, it isn't.
And I was like, I know.
It's not really right for anybody.
It's not.
It's a sucker bet.
Then he says, but I think
But wait, there's more.
yeah, he's like, once you pay for it and you buy it and you're forced to use it because you paid for it and you don't want that money to go to waste, I think you'll find that you like it. And I'm like, I think we all just admitted we're really experienced vacationers and we know exactly what we like. We're not looking to like new shit, Mike.
Yeah.
Like,
Let me break it down for you. If you spend $100,000 and you pay it off over 10 years, then you are a Hilton owner. Mm-hmm. Then you have to pay $3,800 a year over and above the $100,000 you already paid for homeowners fees, which you really don't own a home at all. And then if you do all that, you can probably, if you're lucky, book a 7-day vacation in Hawaii.
Yes.
And so that's what you're really going to get. And if you want to stay in one place for 7 days and you book it 13 months out, you're good. If you want to do anything other than that, like not lose $100,000 and pay $3,800 a year, then this is not for you,
Now,
which means it's not for anybody.
my questions, I feel like my questions were super thoughtful. I was a really good listener and learner.
Not in the presentation, you weren't.
Asking questions for understanding. I was like, what happens if we have an income loss and we need to get out of it? And what's it look like when we die? Like, how do our kids take it over? And are there monthly payments? And what's the financing? And I'm asking questions like that. And now I know that you only had one fucking question the entire time. And that was, do I get to fuck Paris Hilton?
Yeah, valid question. They never answered it.
So when we got out,
So you're saying there's a chance.
I did say to you, hey, you were awfully quiet in there. And I said, and you seem to just be sort of like following me. You you seemed to be leaning into whatever I was thinking. Like when it seemed like I was ready to buy and I was applying for the Amex card, you were getting your Social Security ready for the credit check. Like you were backing me. And then when I was like, let's get the fuck out of here, this isn't for us, you were back, but you had no opinion. And I really paid you like the benefit of the doubt. And I said to you, you know what, sweetheart, is this just because you just really respect how well I plan our vacations and you just were leaning on me as the expert in the marriage? Like you know, you know I'm doing the math in my head. You know that I'm like super knowledgeable about what hotels cost.
Yeah, you're a math teacher. You got
and
the
were
shit.
you just leaning into me and letting me lead? And you said, yes, that's exactly what I was doing. And I felt so confident in our relationship and so confident in our marriage. And I was just like, what a nice compliment. You really see me. You see what I do. Now I know that none of that was fucking true. You were just quiet because you were just like, when do I get to fuck Paris?
Is she behind like the door? If I just pay the $100,000, do I go in the room with her? I don't know how this works.
You're a fucking dirty old man, dude. I'm not taking you places anymore.
Good. Never take me to a timeshare presentation again. I hope I'm fucking being very clear about this. I hope I've offended you and all this shit about Paris Hilton to get my point across. I don't want to go to one of those motherfuckers ever again.
Okay.
But we did go to a cabin one time. It was
Yes.
like a timeshare that nobody owned, but we kind of rented one day. And, that's what the story's about. So the story today is called A Cabin in the Woods, published January 12, 2016, the Santa Maria Sun. A story, sometimes read these stories, I'm like, I don't even remember this. But I remember the trip we took.
The trip was really, really fun. The story, you're right. I don't really remember it because you're taking a humorous look at like what was wrong with the trip. I don't remember the trip like that. I actually remember it being super fun. I remember having the most epic game of Cards Against Humanity like in the world.
Yeah, it was super
so fun.
Well, of course it was fun for you because you weren't the one outside in the cold getting ice down your neck, putting on chain, shit like that.
Yeah,
You don't have to do that. So you're like, no, it was nice. I just sat in the car and listened to the radio.
Yeah, I do remember.
It was such a nice
though,
trip.
I didn't remember until you read the story. But then I was like, oh yeah, there was the one wood burning stove. And you're right. I didn't know it at the time. It was her 40th birthday. That was the birthday party we were celebrating. So I was still only 39. So menopause hadn't quite hit me yet, but that's a preview. When you were reading the story and you were just like, we swung from 19 degrees to 219 degrees all in the span of about 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, my body is doing that right now. In the course that it's taken you to read this story, I've already gone through 4 separate temperature extremes in this body. And that's what that cabin wood burning stove was like.
But to go up to a cabin and find there's no toilet paper or sheets, and you're like, oh, fuck, what are you going to do now? Like, I literally was on this huge scavenger hunt for supplies.
I think
through icy roads.
As I recall, I think that we had still yet like one more set of friends that was behind us. And so I think we all called them and said, hey, before you come up, bring all of the sheets and all of the blankets from your house. Because all of our beds, because I think there was like 4 or 5 couples in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was packed up.
It was
Kids
fun.
running around, having a good time, snowball fights.
Yeah.
It was cool. No, I mean, it's just not my thing. I'm not a snow guy, man.
Oh God, no, me
It's just
neither.
not my jam. So I had a bad attitude about it. Kind of like I had a bad attitude about the timeshare thing. But here, the good news is this. I will say that we were successful in getting down the mountain from the cabin, and we were successful in getting the fuck out of that presentation. However, after the presentation, we were walking to the Raiders game, and then we weren't as successful by getting duped by hustlers. What happened, Mrs. Kreider? What happened, Mrs. Kreider? What happened?
I did feel.
Do you still have all your money?
No, I
Oh, you don't have your money.
I did.
Some money
feel
was
like
lost. Now,
I
this
was-
wasn't a casino that took your money.
No.
This was just a dude on the street.
After the timeshare presentation, because it was hard to leave. It really was. We told Mike, hey, Mike, this isn't for us. And you know it's not for us. Like, we got to get the fuck out of here. We got a Raiders game to go to. And Mike was like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm just going to bring my friend in really quick. And I can't remember what her name is. Sylvia. I'm going to just bring Sylvia in. Sylvia's going to just close you out, right? Okay. Well, then Sylvia comes in and she offers us another offer. She's like, okay, you didn't want it for $100,000. How about a few less points, $20,000? No, we don't want it still. Okay, we want to get the fuck out of here. We got a Raiders game to go to. So then Sylvia's like, okay, let me get Brad in here. Brad's going to close you out. He's going to give you all the information so that you can go. So then Brad comes in and Brad's just like,
I'll give you 1 million points, $500.
yeah. Yeah. I was just like, dude, you know how pissed I would have been if I would have taken Sylvia's offer and Brad was offering me.
No, the points kept going up and the fucking price kept going down. I'm like, dude, someone almost paid $100,000 for this.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, I mean, if you are out there and you are considering being an owner instead of a renter of hotel space,
And you are dumb and a schmuck.
and you go to the timeshare presentation, you wait until like the 5th dude, because by then it's just rock bottom prices. Like,
By the 6th dude, you get to fuck Paris.
maybe we didn't stick around for that. Thank God.
He's like, look, how about just a handy over the pants? I'm like, huh? How many points with that? I'll take a handy over the pants from Paris Hilton.
I mean, I may have considered that for 7 nights in Hawaii.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, my wife can watch. I don't care.
I would not. I would not want to. My only hope would be that she is as unsuccessful as I am I am notoriously bad at hand jobs.
Yeah, that's not your thing.
It's not my thing. So anyway, I felt like I'm immune. I am just walking down Las Vegas Street. I'm like, we won.
We
I'm
went outside,
immune.
high-fived each other. We did it.
We did it. I am immune to scams. I can see right through this bullshit.
We graduated from college and we didn't buy a timeshare. We're successful in this world.
So then we're approached by a man on the street and he has a CD and he's like, hey mama, you want to listen to my CD? And I instantly think of Addie's comedy.
Yes.
Addie has an entire comedy bit about men on the streets handing out CDs. So I'm not really thinking like that this is going to be some kind of exchange where I'm going to take the CD and he's going to want money from me. I am like, dude, you're exactly like my daughter tells me. I'm like a tourist seeing something that I heard about.
Our daughter's comedy is so relatable. This shit really happens.
I'm just like, my daughter, she talks about guys like you. She has a whole comedy bit about it. It's hilarious. And he's just like, lady, this ain't fucking story time. Do you want the CD or not? And I'm like, can I take a picture with you and send it to my daughter and like hold up your CD? And he's just like, are you going to take the CD? And I'm like, well, I mean, I might just to show it to
you
her.
put it in my hand.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm holding it now.
Just so you know, what these guys do is they come up to you and they are very kind and they shove a CD in your hand and they go, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Help set me up. You're like, hey, no problem, man. I get it. You're trying to promote your thing. They're like, listen, I need your Venmo. I need $20.
No,
like
actually,
$20. Dude, CDs when they were produced by fucking Sub Pop Records weren't $20.
No, he didn't say $20. He's like, okay. He goes, now, because I'm like, I'll take your CD. I'll listen to it. It's going to be a couple days before I have access to a CD player, but I'll totally listen to it. And he's like, yeah, track 7 is a love song. You and your man, you guys are going to love it. And he's like, what's your name? What's his name? I'm going to sign it for you. So he's writing on it and it's all going good. And then he's like, now anything that you can kick back will really, really, really help me out. It will just help me with this career. And I go, sure. Like, what are you thinking? What's normal? Because even then I was like, okay, I'm going to just tell him whatever he tells me. I'm going to cut it in half. And he's like, I don't know, like $100. And I'm like, half of that is 50. I'm not giving you $50 fucking dollars. And he's like, well, some people will go as low as 50. And I'm like, I'm going to go as low as 20. Dude, like, I guess I'm cheap because I'm giving you $20 fucking dollars. That's it.
For a CD that's blank.
So
we don't even know there's anything on this fucking
no,
CD.
We don't. So this is one dude. And I'm like, okay, $20 is worth the story to tell Addie that it was like her comedy came alive for me.
Yeah.
And, and I can share the story with her for the low price of $20.
But
well,
was
then,
it $20?
Then I turn around and there's like another guy and he's got his CD in my hand and now he has his Venmo out. And I'm just like, wait, what happened? I'm like, well, can you just split can you guys each just take 10 of the 20 that I gave him? And he's like, oh no.
Separate Venmo accounts.
And then
separate Cash Apps.
And you're making fun of me. You're just like I'm responsible for this. Well, while I'm dealing with these two, and now we're up to $40, there's a third guy who gives you his CD.
No, the price goes up each time. First one was 20, then it was 20,
$21.50,
45. The next one was $24.
Yeah.
And it kept going up. And then basically these gentlemen saw suckers. They're like, look at these fucking suckers. Mm-hmm. These guys probably bought a fucking timeshare. Let's sell 3 blank CDs to them.
Well, and I feel like we were vulnerable because we had a false sense of security about how we had already defeated one scam.
Yeah, I'm like, I took down Hilton, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get bilked by you guys.
Right. But then we totally did. So then you have the third CD and this guy's coming up to me and he's like, your husband bought this and he's showing me $24. I'm like, why does it keep going up? It was 20 and then it was $21.50 and now it's $24. And then I was like, how many more of you are there? I'm not buying a 4th CD. Are you the last one? And he's like, yes. For the low price of $65.49 total, you've just bought.
No, you've also given your personal information
3 CDs
to 3 different dudes who hustle on the street. I'm like, you better watch that card.
Because also, I don't know how to use my own fucking phone. So they just take my phone and they're just using
They're smacking
Apple
your
Pay.
phone on their phone like, you guys, you good with this? Fucking $24? I'm like, this is not good.
Is a hold it up to your face and, use your, and I'm like, good thing that my phone is so secure with facial identity that once the stranger grabs
it's
it out of my
amazing
hands,
they can just, how quickly they can get your credit card to pop up in your phone and get money out of your phone. I'm like, damn, I can't even do that. But you fucking did it.
I don't even know how to do that.
They know how to do it. It was amazing.
But you did
so you better watch that account like a hawk because I think we're probably buying some stuff right now at a mall in Vegas. We're not aware of it.
I can't wait till we get in the car tomorrow. And thankfully, I have a 2018 Hyundai, so it has a CD player. And we're going to listen to all 3 of those CDs.
Now, as we were leaving after we got totally took, and I think a lot of that was white guilt on our part. We're like, oh, sorry, gentlemen, it's fine. I think you said, hey, I just paid $60 for this. it better not all be bitches and hoes on this fucking record.
I did.
And then he looked like, and then just turned around and walked away.
He backed away.
Yeah,
so
he's like,
quick.
oh, mama, wait till you hear what's on this record.
I got my mom and my teacher voice. Like, I was like so drunk. Okay, because we were drunk. In our defense, if someone's gonna, hit us up.
Well,
for
we were celebrating not
$65.
losing $100 grand.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we kicked Hilton's ass, get fucked up, and then we were just drunk and we got.
So I used my teacher voice, and I was like, now listen, son, you better do your fucking homework, and this better not be just bitches. I said, if I listen to this and I feel like a worthless piece of shit because I'm a woman, I'm coming back here, I'm finding you, and I'm expecting a full refund, and that goes for your little friends too. They just backed away into the
crowd. Well, they were backing away because they had your credit card. They're like, our work is done.
Oh, that's true.
We're done hustling for the day. We have her credit card. Let's go.
But what I learned, what's so cool about those 3 CDs. So I put those 3 CDs in my pocket, and you were like, hey, good job, Ace. Now you got to carry those CDs around all night. You're like, throw them away. I'm like, this is $65 worth of CDs.
I would throw them right in the trash.
I am not throwing them away. I'm carrying them. But where they came in super, super, super clutch is about, I don't know, what do you think? 600 yards later, another dude hits me up.
Well, the word was out. They're like, a white couple buying CDs. Come get them.
Here they come.
Here they come. They're wearing Raider shit.
They're so old, they still know what CDs are.
She's got a credit card app on her phone. Just tap the phone. You're going to get her information.
They have devices that will play CDs, but they don't have any knowledge about how Apple Pay works. So we go to the next gentleman, and he hands me a CD, and I pull the 3 out of my pocket. I fan out all 3. I say, oh, no. Your 3 friends already got me. I already spent $65 on CDs tonight. I have reached my quota. No more CDs fit in my pocket. And it worked. He thanked me.
He's all, where are those guys at?
Yeah, first he goes, well, where are those guys at? I said, out in front of New York. And then he told his buddy, because they come in pairs and trios. He's like, hey, there's some guys out doing CDs in front of New York, this lady says. And then his buddy comes over and he's like, let me see those CDs. And I'm like, you can touch the CDs all you want. Just don't touch my phone. He said, thank you for supporting, not local musicians. Thank you for supporting unsigned amateur. Thank you for supporting amateur musicians. And I was like, you're welcome. And that was my good deed.
So we beat Hilton, lost to the street
CD
sellers. What do they call them? Whatever the
peddlers.
Term. The amateur unsigned musicians.
Yeah.
So, I think it's pretty successful. We lost $65. Big deal.
Yeah, we didn't lose $140,000.
Yeah, exactly. And $300 a year for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, on a timeshare.
Not a good deal.
It was all in all, it was a successful day.
So it sounds like what Hilton learned is they should have got us drunk first. Then we would have bought the shit.
I don't know if you noticed them or not. There were signs all over the place. They were like, it won't count if you're inebriated. You will not fulfill the obligation of, your free room. If you're inebriated, we refuse the right to reserve.
Well, I'm sure there's been some kind of contract dispute. Someone's like, I was wasted, dude. I don't know that fucking sign.
Yeah. So there were signs. Plus, it started at 10:30, dude. I didn't even have enough time to brush my teeth hardly to get there by 10:30 and get drunk. You know what I mean?
There's plenty of time for that today.
Yeah. Actually, I should have just done 2 in 1 and just taken a couple of shots of peppermint schnapps right as we were walking in.
Exactly. I just brushed my teeth, everybody. Fine. All right, let's raise a glass because we were successful in not getting bilked by Hilton. I did not get one over the pants by Paris, but oh well, there's always next day.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the hosts their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel Cadet Blues.